Welcome to the Dog Psychology Podcast with Todd and Art.
All right. Welcome to the Dog Psychology Podcast with Todd and Art. Our guest is none other than, he needs no introduction actually, but I'll go ahead and
introduce me.
Yeah, Cesar Millan. Congratulations on 20 years.
20 years, yes.
Amazing.
Thank you. How long do we know each other? 11 years, 12 years?
11 years, yeah.
11 years.
I'm a student.
10.
You, 10?
Yeah, October will be 10 years since the first one of these that I did.
There you go.
So lots of these later. So
half of my life.
Yeah.
Well, and the TV business.
Yeah.
So thanks for giving us your time. I know, we all just finished a long week, but
Amazing week.
yeah, you put a lot of energy into it. So what do you do today to recharge?
No, today I work. I film.
Oh,
I
really?
filmed today, yeah. I filmed the end of the show. It's called OTF. And then after that, Jada came. And after that, you guys watch me with my white legs. I
had to put some sunglasses on.
That's the Mexican side came out. I was like, Jesus Christ. It doesn't matter. It's home. This is home. So no, I haven't rest, but I do need to rest.
Yeah.
I don't need to rest today. I'm gonna sleep early.
Yeah, it takes a lot. It takes a lot. We just finished a TCW. I mean, it was great. I mean, that could have been the best one. That mountain thing at the end.
Oh
I
my
didn't.
God,
Yeah, I
that
didn't
was
talk to you.
amazing.
What do you think of that?
Well,
light show.
so I have two new people, Luis and Melissa, and they wanted to do different things, and definitely, as you can see, they clean up the whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
It's beautiful structure, clean. They were a lot more tight than any of the other of my team members, and they come out with their own, add to it, like Melissa did all this plants thing. The stage is beautiful. That's Luis. Luis has done a lot of live shows with me.
Yeah.
And so that to bring the live show feeling, and the Melissa like German,
She's not German though.
She's not German, but she acts like a German, So you need a German one, for a structure. You need a German energy.
I married one, so
You know what? I appreciate it. I appreciate discipline. I appreciate organization. I appreciate to be on time. So you asked me. I know you asked me about that, but it's all related.
Yeah.
Because that was a surprise. This is the kind of people you guys own a business, so you want people that work with you. They're passionate about it. They're honest about it. They're responsible about it, and they're creative.
She's super creative. I mean, that's the thing. Even right now, you should have her and Luis sitting right there.
Yeah, we're just talking.
It was just comical. The way that their brains were back. Luis is running around. What if it got to the point where they completely reversed it and they wanted the students on the stage and the set and out here, for coming up TCW. So, I mean, they are running scenarios that we will never see, you know?
And you need that.
Oh, dude,
What I like about was the little details. Yeah. Even the food, they had the wooden spoon, and at the last day, everything was like biodegradable stuff. Like
That's
little
right.
details like that was
That's
really
Melissa.
important.
That's
I
Melissa.
thought that was great.
You know what I mean? They say we want to do things that represent you, natural, simple, profound.
Yeah.
And those are things that I can't really pay attention to it because the mission is better human, better planet.
Yeah.
So I have to stay silent. I have to stay calm. I have to stay positive.
Are you the follower in those moments?
Yeah, of course. You know that.
Yeah.
I mean, leadership is, for me, like healthy leadership is you're able to play any position in the pack.
Yeah.
And that's really when you just want to be part of the pack.
Yeah.
So if you have a much better suggestion than me, I want to see it. You know what I mean? Because to me, the fun part is we wake up in the morning and what are we going to do with time? Mm-hmm. Like a kid, you know? And once you get to a certain age, you realize life, time, and memories.
100%.
Right?
Actually, I tell my wife that's like, time is almost like a currency. You only get what you're going to get. You can't make more of it. So it's like almost someone gives you like $1 million. What are you going to do with it?
That's right.
Right. So you use your money wisely, but you also use your time wisely. Who are you going to spend it with the ones that you love? So that's something that I
the
share with
biggest
my
currency,
wife.
life and time.
Yeah.
So that's the good thing about Luis and Melissa coming now that I'm about to be 55. Like I want to have good time.
Yeah.
So when you do stuff around here now, do you hire people to do some of the time-oriented things, or do you and Philly enjoy the time so you're getting the fulfillment out of improving the place? Where's that balance to where, you know what I'm saying, you're still able to get everything?
I like that part. to be with the land and the earth part. It covers two things in me: the man in me and the Mexican in me. Right?
Yeah.
It's like I really enjoy that. I grew up in the farm, and so to walk the land and to know what plant needs water, doesn't need it, or you know what I mean, like to know about the plants. 43 acres. I walk this shit every day. You know, so to me, the land is something that it's like a dog. You walk the land, you walk the dog.
Yeah.
You know, the bigger the land, the bigger the walk. But I like it, and so between Philly and I, so that's the beauty. Between Philly and I, we built 43 acres, right? So
Who's the pack leader builder, him or you?
No, Philly. I'm a labor.
He picked you up at Home
You're the
Depot?
idea guy.
I'm the idea and the financial guy.
Yeah.
But when it comes to do, it's Philly. Yeah, no.
That guy's everywhere.
Everywhere.
Everywhere on the ranch.
Everywhere. Talk about loyalty. Talk about leadership. Talk about passion. Talk about creativity. And that's when you find that human. And I told the team, the people that run the bonding part of it, this guy's retired with me.
Yeah.
When I retire, he's retiring. That's my gratitude and my loyalty to choosing to stay with me, knowing they have so much fucking talent.
Where does that come from? You know, you've talked about that for years, not just about.
You guys say bad words on this, but
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Where does that anchor and loyalty come from? I mean, we understand it personally.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, but we also know it's part of the whole process of dog psychology. But from you personally, where does it come from?
the loyalty.
Yeah. It seems like it is like an anchor in you. Like
It's really
loyalty is
important
one of
to
the
you,
most
like-
important things
yeah.
to you and the people around you and in the way you see life.
I think I grew up with that moral code. You know, my grandfather said, never work against Mother Nature. Always gain the trust, always gain the respect, and they're gonna give you a beautiful gift called loyalty.
Right.
So you grew up with that, and then you see what loyalty means. You know, that's to me has more power than love.
Did you guys feel loyalty from the animals? Is it from the earth? I mean, is it?
Yes, you can see loyalty there, and you can see loyalty in men of worth. You know, men of honor.
Yeah.
And that to me is like I say, spirituality for me is honesty, integrity, loyalty, right? So the more I practice that, the more I am closer to God. So it has a certain value, but it also has another value in practice it. Because one thing about thinking it, but if you don't practice it, what's the point? You know, so it has the traditional aspect and the execution aspect, and that's the value. You know, a man without loyalty, I don't know. He just went down in the fact and the value as a man. You know, for me, I know that in the woman world, love is what they value, but I value loyalty first, and then it's leadership, and then I can bring love into the picture, and then I can live life, and that's how unconsciously I have lived life. But now it's very conscious.
Yeah.
You know, because I went through a lot of bad people.
Yeah.
But you guys have met people that are not, at the moment people are not honest, loyalty is going to be broken, right? Because they're going to say, yes, I am going to do the right thing by you, but they knew that they were not being honest.
It's hard. You know, it's actually hard from where we sit because we could see things, you know, and it's not always messages that can get across. You know, we always have different perspectives, and we've seen all these people come in and out. You know, to the point you're talking about.
We have seen a lot of people come in and
Yeah,
out.
we're the most stable source.
I know.
We've seen the whole thing change, and all these people come in and out of your lives.
And you guys don't tell me about it?
We have.
Motherfuckers.
I remember I texted you one time. I texted you
loyal fuckers.
Shit.
No, that's true. No, you guys are loyal, but sometimes you don't want to say something. But but you saw it. I mean, you saw it. I know you mean no harm. But you saw it. It's just part of the learning experience, and it allowed me to value something that I value way before I came to America. So you need to meet aggressive dogs. You need to meet dishonest people.
Yeah.
So you can then value who you are and love who you are and know who you are.
Yeah. Love that. So this is a dog psychology podcast, and that was always. I remember watching Dog Whisperer early in the days. I was like, that's so fascinating, dog psychology. How did you come up with that? Like, how did you?
I knew right away that what I was doing, it was not training dogs, that's for sure. And then I found 2 books, Dog Psychology by
Bruce
Leon F. Whitney, and Bruce Fogel was the Dog's Mind.
Yeah, that's right.
You see, and so that's when so what I do is called dog psychology, right? Because it didn't make sense to me to train a dog that has issues, right? And so then unconsciously I start rehabilitating a dog, right? So returning back to his natural state, and then people, well, what do you do? I guess I have to give it a word to this action. And so that's when I found those 2 books, and those books gave me the guidance of, okay, what you do is dog psychology.
Yeah. And how did you define dog psychology? That was our first episode, by the way, our own definition of dog psychology. And Todd says, I wonder what Cesar would say.
Well, it's connection, communication, relationship, right? So for me, dog psychology is the communication, right? Because if you want to have a giraffe psychology, horse psychology, woman psychology. So it's how you communicate to that specific species, plant psychology, right? The connection and the relationship is the same, energy and actions. But the philosophy is the only one that changes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So dog psychology is how you communicate to that specific species. With a bird, it's completely different. It's eyes first. And a dog is nose, eyes, ears. So one of the psychology of a dog is nose, eyes, ears. Yeah.
We get a lot of students that come through here that they change how they view dogs. Like they start one way and then they change to another. Is there anything that's ever changed? Like that you really thought this is nature's way, this is the instinctive way, and then down the road you learn different about dogs? Or do you feel like everything that you learned from an early age as a boy with your grandfather and your dad has essentially anchored everything else you've learned, and you've never had to unlearn anything? You know what I'm saying? We get a lot of people that have to unlearn bad habits and unlearn bad advice and
I have to unlearn bad energy and bad habits and bad actions with humans.
Right. But
not with dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with dogs, they left it natural, simple, and profound. They left unconsciously. They did it themselves. They said it, and they felt it. So I saw humans being really good energetically with animals, knowing unconsciously what to do and then doing it. But then I also learned not to be good energy and good philosophy and good actions with humans. So that's what I needed to unlearn. That part, not the dog part. The dog part, I never had a bad experience with a dog, even though I've been bitten by a dog.
Yeah.
You know that a dog is not consciously want to hurt you.
So again, we've been here for years and years. We've heard a lot of your stories from as a kid. When was your power or your understanding of dogs a positive? I mean, because you've spoke of times when you were a younger kid and you'd walk to school and the dogs would follow you. There was kind of some negative to that. When did you really understand, like, fuck, I got a power here, or an understanding or an ability that I can use and share with others?
America. When I came to America, I saw that I was different. That I was different in a good way, because I knew I was different in a bad way in Mexico, right? Because I was called perrero, and so if I would have stayed at the farm, no kid would have ever said nothing wrong about me, because all their dogs will follow them.
It was normal.
It was normal, right? But I went to the city, and in the city, the kids are not followed by dogs, are followed by kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and so in a farm, it's less kids, more animals. And then you're always doing chores with your grandparents and the land and the family. And in the city, the kids are doing their own thing, right? So it's a completely different philosophy and a different way of living. So when I came to America and dogs will follow me, people will clap.
Right. It's a scene walking down the street with 3, 4, 5, 20 dogs.
And so that's when I felt that this behavior that I had before had actually a good outcome. So I became a dog walker. Yeah.
What would you be doing if you weren't working with dogs?
Anything that has to do with cleaning. I love to clean, so I would like to.
You used to clean limos or something like that, didn't you?
Yeah, I like to clean. I like to clean. It relaxes me. I clean plants. I clean the roads. I clean the road. I clean many things. I love to groom dogs. So I think that's why I love being a groomer. But like the forest, I would like to clean the forest. I can't stand freeways, dirty freeways. Yeah. I love when I go to Singapore. Yeah. Because it's freaking clean. So anything that is dirty, I would like to do it. And of course, being around Mother Nature is my favorite part. So I will be a forest ranger.
Yeah.
Yeah, forest ranger.
Early on, I was here, and this one I could tell that you were like really into that, just like what you said, cleaning into the earth. I was over working with a student, and you walked up, you took out a poop bag, picked up some shit off the ground, cleaned it up, wrapped it up, and off you walk. Like it was just part of your
That
job at the
happened,
time. You know, and here it's your place.
Yeah.
Everybody's here to see you, and you're just,
Yeah.
yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, I've seen you, like, at one time I showed up, it was like in between fundamentals 1 and 2, and you were just out there picking up the horse poop, like, no big deal, you know, this is, you know, you created this land, and then you're also cleaning it.
Yeah, you maintain it.
Yeah.
I mean, you're a father, so you have to maintain what you create, right? It's
I
your
know.
responsibility. And so, in order for things to give you, you have to give, right? So, you have to love the land, so the land loves you back. You know what I mean? So it's a back and forth. It's a relationship.
Yeah.
It's a relationship. You have to follow land psychology. It's their energy and it's the actions. So again, what's always the same as the energy and the action.
Yeah.
What's different is the philosophy of the psychology.
Yeah.
So you have to give. You have to constantly be in contact.
There was something that you said during this last one. I pointed out to Todd. I've never heard you say this before. You said, "I'm not a dog psychologist, but I practice dog psychology," and I love that because I think that's one of the things that people like criticize us, like, oh, they say they're, even like some of the comments that we've gotten on some of the podcast stuff, like, oh, you're not a dog psychologist, but I love the fact that you said, but I'm not a dog psychologist, but I practice dog psychology.
Yeah.
That'll end the conversation right there.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
how would you? I mean, what do we have to get a certificate? Is there
Right.
a dog
It's like-
psychology
It
certificate
is.
out there?
Apparently,
there?
it is.
Oh
of
shit!
course.
I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
It's a scientific stuff, right? But I think we do the real dog psychology, right? Because it's about energy, it's about philosophy, it's about actions in the pack, and a lot of the behavior is they do one dog at a time, and sometimes they don't even touch it. So
It's almost like, you know, people go to a child psychologist and you're not gonna tell a parent, oh, you're not a child psychologist, so don't even parent your parent. It's the same thing in a way, you know what I mean?
Same
You
thing.
can still practice being a parent, obviously, but you can also.
it should be natural.
Exactly,
It should be a natural thing to be a good father. You know, it should be a natural thing to be a good person to the earth and to the animals. It should be natural, right? Because we're part of the animal kingdom.
Yeah.
It's like having connection with God. We all came from him. You know, I like to call him, male, because I grew up in Mexico, and I'm not gonna change it. I call Earth Mother Nature, and I call universe Father God, and that's it. It works for me. You know, so for you to be connected to direction protection, because that's the male energy, but you have to stay connected. And with Earth, you have to stay connected. So it's a natural thing. You're born connected. That's why you're here alive. You know what I mean? So it's just that, to be connected at all time.
I liked, it was a few years ago, you kind of started going into the masculine feminine conversation.
Yeah,
And-
because TikTok, they talk about that shit all the time.
Well, you know what's interesting,
know.
because if you really see it when you pull back, I kind of see is when you're not using that role properly, it fucks with the dogs a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like when you're not using the right side of your
kids too.
energy.
Even your kids
Do you know what I'm
too.
saying?
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
you see a woman using too masculine in energy at the wrong time, or a man using too feminine, or vice versa.
I think
You
it's a
definitely
perfect
see.
place to talk about it, because we all deal with the same thing. So most of our clients are going to be women,
Yeah.
right? Most of our clients. For me, 80% of my clients are women, and especially if a married woman and it's children. This is a very common. Dog in the front, wife number 2, kids number 3, husband number 4.
Yep.
That happens all the time.
Yep.
That's not story. That's a reality.
Very much so.
Right? And so why do the dog goes in the front? Because she chooses to practice feminine energy to the dog. Why would the guy go in the back and the kids go in the back? Because she does masculine energy to them. That means rules, mind, limitations. She is direction.
Yep.
You see it? So it goes into, so then she goes into this dominant behavior, even though they don't call it that way. And with the dog, she goes into a soft behavior. Right? That happens. This is real.
I know.
Dude, it takes all of 2 seconds to feel this when you walk in the home too. I mean, it's almost like it hits you. Yeah.
So that means she is capable to practice male energy on the kids and the husband.
Right.
Right? But
Yeah.
she chooses to practice female energy to the dog, because the dog represents unconditional love. Right? So it's what goes into your mind that triggers a feminine energy or a masculine energy. right? And so that's a decision made by the intellect, and then you have a conflict emotionally, because now you're telling the guy to go in the back, but you don't want him in the back, and you want the dog to listen to you, but you put him in the front. So what it creates is this confusion, this unhappiness, and chaos by not knowing how to utilize calm, confident, love, joy.
Do you know when I've noticed it's even worse is when it's all boys. So when the mom it's all males around, it's even more skewed, because it's all the feminine energy, just like you said, all of it comes out on the dog. And it's like that's her outlet. I had one lady one time approach me in a restaurant, and I had worked with her years ago, and she goes, you said something that's always stuck with me. She goes, she goes, you asked me how many kids I had. I have 4 boys. And I go, well, when are you going to start taking what you do there? She goes, that did it.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like I had to teach her what to do. I just had to teach her how to put her energy in the right spot to move it in the right spot. And she said that was the moment. But people are a little sensitive about talking about this. The first time you talked about it, I was looking around the room. I'm like, how's this going to go? How are people going to take it?
Well, because, just like, words mean different things to different people. And so I think that's where the confusion comes in. And so you always say, if you don't like the word, change it. But, I think that's something that we shouldn't change. We should really define what that is, and because I can, like, my wife and I have had these discussions about what our role is as a father, as a wife, how we're going to raise our son. And I heard this quote that said that the mothers turn the babies into boys, and the men turn the boys into men. And so I want my child to be a strong, sturdy individual, mentally, emotionally, physically. We want to provide all these things, but there's a motherly aspect. My wife, she's very feminine, and so having her be that role, that feminine, but also, like, that's why I started doing jujitsu. That's why my son does jujitsu, so, like, we can, like, wrestle and do masculine things together. You know what I mean? And so I think it takes that balance. And I think that's where the confusion comes, because there has to be balance, yin and yang, order and chaos. That's what Jordan Peterson talks about, order and chaos.
Well, the balance is the calm, confident combined with the love, joy.
Yeah.
Right. We men, we have to have love, joy, but it's expected that we have calm confidence. I hope, right? I have 2 kids, 2 boys. I expect for them to know how to give direction, protection, so their women feel safe and peace. I expect that, right? And I teach that, right? And so if they don't have that, and then they're going to be soft guys. And so if what they're going to have is a stronger woman, the balance is they're going to be the soft energy, and the girl is going to be the strong energy, and they're not going to be happy about it. I certainly am not happy. I like my woman to be, like you say, feminine. I'm masculine plenty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Can I be feminine? Fuck yeah! You see me dancing, right? Of course, I get in touch to the feminine side of it. It's no problem. But if I'm in front of my woman, I want her full femininity.
Yeah.
100%.
Understand.
Yeah.
Full. Yeah. I don't want to practice femininity in front of her. Why would I? Right? I just want her, I want to give her my calm confidence.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Here, and you give me your love, joy. That to me is yin and yang.
Yeah.
Well, I think instinctively too, one of the real elements dogs can show us is they live the balanced existence of everybody knows their role. Everybody uses the right energy at the right time. Nobody tries to be something they're not, right? I mean, I think that was probably the initial attraction of a pack of wolves to a pack of humans. It wasn't just that there was food there, it was that there was a familiarity, that there was an instinctive order of energies in the right spot. You probably wouldn't have seen the women of that tribe out hunting just as much as, you know what I'm saying? It would have been, things had to be that way because you didn't want to give the weak a chance to go, let's see if you can go out and make a hunt. I mean, everything had to have the right order, and I think that's where dogs can really bring.
Spot can never hunt.
Right? I mean, we'd all die, right?
Spot can alert and make the middle and the front go do it.
Right.
So no, once a healthy pack knows the position, practice the position. Everybody knows their strength and their weaknesses. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it shouldn't be people still have a problem with what position on the pack they play, what does that mean? I mean, the words still create confusion. But the whole point is, how do we present, like you say, we have to break it down for people so they can see, okay, this is energy, this is philosophy, this is action. If you have those 3, what you have is trust, respect, love. Body, mind, heart. Then you should be happy, healthy, loving, and go create whatever you want.
Why do you think people have such an affinity with pack position? All the students ask that, like, what do you think my dog is? Front, middle, or back?
Yeah,
what do you think my dog
that's
is?
so
Front, middle?
true.
I mean, this is like one of the most common questions I think I'm asked right now.
Because before it used to be personality based,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So this pack position, they put personality, right? So because they humanize the dog. But we're making it simple. We're making it natural. We're making them remember, hey guys, don't forget that this is also reality, right? The position in the pack that the dog is born is going to tell you how to treat them,
Yeah.
right? So personality, you can call it personality, but if you just look at for what it is, it's going to be much easier for you to know why your dog is this way, and what friends can he has and how much can he do.
Yeah.
Right? You have your kids, so he
I
can
know.
do this, he can do that, right?
I got two boys. I know my oldest is the back and my youngest is the middle.
Hugh, there you go. And they're born, and then different thing is nothing wrong with it.
No.
You know what I mean?
There was one thing you told me, actually. I think I asked you, it was early on when we started doing pack. It was actually the very first fundamentals 2 we ever did. And I asked you, I was like, is the back of the pack like the weaker dogs? And you said no. You said that's actually their strength.
Sensitivity is
Their
their
sensitivity
strength.
is their strength. And I was like, oh, that was good, because
Absolutely.
people see it as a weak dog, but it's not that they're weak, it's just who they are. But you said the pack can't survive without the back of the pack.
Yeah.
How?
Yeah.
How?
Let me ask you this. So you think humans, I mean, we have the ability to do things that animals can't do. We have intellect that we can add to our skill set. Do you think a human can move their pack position? At least I believe, and I think you said the same thing, that dogs can't. I mean, they will, but like innately they can't go from he can't like start lifting weights and be a front. You know what I'm saying?
no.
But humans, do you think humans have the innate ability to move their position?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when you use the mind, right, to go from the back to the front. For me, like
Jeff Bezos.
just for example,
Yeah, Jeff Bezos, yeah.
back in the day, the nerds were never what we call the nerds. They were never even thought about they can go in the front.
Yeah.
But now, their strength is reading, and right, so they go from reading and learning and executing to the front, because now the new wealth is not about hunting. The new wealth is about creating technology, right? So that's the mind of the human. The human evolves in a completely different way that animals will never go for it.
Yeah.
Because they have to stay to remind us, simplicity. But the human is here to evolve. The human is here to grow, and of course is the one who follows unstable leaders and the one that creates chaos. So
I remember you, maybe I misunderstood you one time when you said.
probably.
I remember you said that Daddy was a special dog, that he could be all the pack positions.
Yeah,
That he could be.
It's once in a million. I don't know if you guys have had your daddy, but it sounded bad.
Yeah.
Where's your daddy?
Jesus Christ, that's a different hour.
Hey, no.
That's a different dog psychology.
We said we weren't going to talk about that. Come on.
No, but it's 1 in a million. Honestly, I think it's
That's what made him special.
They're pure spiritual.
Yeah.
They're pure spiritual. Yes, they do the instinctual part incredible. The heart is incredible, and the capability to guide you in a life that is. Daddy was with me when in the beginning of my marriage. No, my whole life, because he died at 16. My marriage lasted 16 years, so he guided me the whole time.
It's like that's why
He was my
there.
client first, so he fed me, he helped me, financially, and then he guided me. And that was, Daddy was my client, like I said. It's not like I went and looked for him and he was my dog before that. No, it's like the way it happens is.
Was it instant? Did you know when you met him, or did you grow into it?
I didn't know until later, until he died. I just knew he was special.
Yeah.
Everybody loved it. Everybody that met Daddy.
I never met him. I was in just after. No, I didn't get to meet him.
Yeah.
He knew what to do. Like my favorite thing to tell is before he died, and we were about to finish season 10 or I don't know, Dog Whisperer, and his back legs were gone. Okay, and we went to this place to help this dog. There was he used to find cell phones in jail and got scared, blah blah blah, and the trainer didn't know how to get him out. And when I went to see the dog, it was completely shut down. And I said, it's only one that can, get him out. Daddy was with red. He knew I opened the RV. He knew exactly where to go. He's never been there. Touched the dog nose. Boom! Got it out on video.
How? Do you think?
I don't know.
Do you think they can read your almost read your mind at that connected level?
I hope so.
Following your spirit, like he followed the path you took.
Powers.
Yeah, that's
I
amazing.
mean, listen. When I do ceremonies, that's the only time that I see Daddy. Like, you know what I mean? Like with like that kind of way of communication and understanding. That's this. But this guy's not doing ayahuasca. This guy's just normal, eating kibbles.
I did a post on a guy that died, and he had a near-death experience. And he said when he got there, one of the parts was that every animal you've ever had, it always makes me kind of, it comes running up to you. I mean, it was like this post that everybody loved it. Everybody had their story. You think that? I mean, I know you're a spiritual, religious person. You think they're waiting for us?
I just did the frog, bufo, and a day before I did my first ceremony with the bufo, Santiago, one of our little birds, passed away, and in the ceremony, my grandfather comes in the form of an eagle, because he's ready to pass to the other side, and Santiaguito was there singing for my grandfather, but before my grandfather died, he sang a song about birds. So see it's like the connection, like that's it.
Is that why you have all the birdhouses down there when you first walked
That's
in?
my dad.
Oh, your dad, okay.
My dad loves birds.
Yeah.
My grandfather just loved Earth.
Do you have a ritual for death, like when you're putting them down? Like, is there something that you do?
I like to take them to their favorite places. That's one of the things that I always done. I'm gonna put the video of what when Junior passed away.
Ooh, wow.
And it's not a cricket. It's a bigger than a cricket. What is it called?
Grasshopper.
A grasshopper.
Yeah.
So that the doctor, who was gonna put the Junior down. We got the ceremony, the kids, Andre, Calvin. We're all, keeping it happy. And definitely we never, do. I suggest to the boy not to cry. Andre is very sentimental, so he cries. But normally we keep it like very happy-go-lucky.
Yeah.
And so we're ready, make the appointment, and I feel, it's here. And I open the door, and it's a grasshopper on the right side of the door, facing this way. Didn't jump, nothing. The doctor came in. I opened the door, and the grasshopper right there. So if you watch what grasshopper spiritual meaning means, it's gonna blow you away. It's gonna blow you away. He was there to walk Junior.
Shut the fuck up.
Absolutely. Read the meaning. Read the meaning.
Jamie, bring it up.
Read the meaning.
Jamie, can you bring up the meaning?
Read the meaning about a grasshopper. What it means it was incredible.
Does that help you put it at peace?
Grasshopper spiritual meaning.
Does that help you put it at peace?
Oh my God.
Grasshopper spiritual guides that come from bearing important messages for self-growth. If you see one, it may be a sign to trust that the universe is conspiring in your favor, and that it's okay to take a risk right now, even if it feels scary. Ooh, that's a good one.
Wow.
And I have it. I told Peter we have to put this because it's just incredible. And then they came back, the grasshopper, and it's looking. I mean, like it's looking like the way a dog looks at you. You can feel. I could feel that the grasshopper was looking at me.
I have a story just like that when my dog passed away. So the last video I have of him alive, the vet was going to come to our house, and I was setting up the camera because I thought maybe I'll film it, but I was like, nah. But I had set up the camera, and you can see him going across the living room, and he jumps on the couch, and he curls up in a little ball like he always did. And then I didn't notice it until like later. I look at the video, and in the background, you can hear a cardinal chirping. The red birds, a cardinal. And so I was like, wow, that's amazing. Because they also say that the cardinal is a person, a loved one revisiting you. And so back in the spring, when I was still spring in Texas, I saw a cardinal every single morning. And then also the next week I went to an appointment. I was standing under a tree talking to a client, and this cardinal's burp, burp, burp. And the lady goes, man, that's a really loud bird. And that was the one experience. I went to Oklahoma. We had a cardinal trying to get into our car. Father's Day at the Dallas Arboretum, we saw a cardinal. And the really cool story is we were doing our social with all the dogs that we do. And one of our clients, her dog, she has two dogs, one had passed away. And then I'm telling her story like, wow, you know, I'm really sorry for your loss and all these other things. And I was sharing her the story of the cardinal. I'm literally like, me and Todd are like this, and a cardinal flies right in between us and lands in the bush right behind us, and we just got chills. So now every time I see a cardinal,
right.
I think of my
That's
boy
right.
Frankie.
I do believe. I mean, Native Americans believe in that, and I'm more close to that way of believing, especially coming from Mexico. It makes a lot of sense to me. Like, I love ayahuasca because it's so native.
Yeah.
You know, I do believe the plants have wisdom. I do believe the animals have wisdom.
Have you studied like mushrooms and how they say they communicate underground
Yeah,
for
the
like
mycelium.
like
yeah.
I heard
hundreds
about
of
it.
yards and
Andre
miles?
talks about it,
Yeah, it's
about
pretty
that.
impressive. They say literally
See?
the plants have a communication system.
There you go.
So how about this? So this is a real spiritual element of like the loss and a pet passing. What's the most like spiritual or existential or holy fuck moment that you've seen in a behavior transformation? Like, have you had do you have a story of, look, I can't believe that it went this way?
I mean, the one is right now very recent is Brunello, you know, because I mean, you never, we always tell people, sometimes you don't get the dog you want, you get the dog you need. And Brunello came at a time where I was getting bored, you know, and right.
Yeah.
And so 2.5 months later, this guy helped me not only go back to where I supposed to be, but also make me cry. So I've been wanting to cry for a long time, but it couldn't come out. It couldn't come out. And this guy, for some reason, he brought it out. So he came to help me, you know, to get out of the boredom way of being, because I get bored really easy, right? And then I had this cry inside of me that I wanted to come out. And you know, we always talk about what the dog is. How was it? You know, how was it today with the dog? So I'm sitting, and boom, started coming out. And when you do ceremonies, sometimes you cry because it has to come out.
Yeah.
So this guy, for some reason, he pushed that out of me, and that to me is the closest thing to spirituality. I'm pretty sure I have other.
Yeah.
I will say one
cases.
that we experienced was Olivier's dog during Fundamentals 1.
Yeah.
The guy from Belgium, there's that black dog that he was kind of anxious, but he also had a hard time where he would separate from
Oh,
he
yeah,
would
yeah,
attack
yeah,
all the
yeah,
other dogs when he would separate.
Yeah,
I remember I had come in to the ranch in between Fundamentals 1, and you were just like, no big deal, you know. And I remember like we were like blown away by that, because when he first came in that first day, I mean, not that I doubt you, but I was like, there's no way. There's no way. But in my mind, that's what I thought. Like, this dog's gonna be a challenge. And it was like easy for you. I was like, how is he not bored with all this stuff?
The only way out. The only way out is the way in.
Yeah.
That's what that was where we
Yeah.
kept hearing that one. The only way out is the way in.
Yeah.
I remember seeing you tie him off to another dog, letting him run off.
Yeah,
and do different
that was
stuff. A lot of real
amazing.
creative things with that. Yeah, that was an interesting
What about
one.
the question about Yoa with the?
Oh yeah. That. So one of the craziest assessments that I have seen you do. Were you there?
Yeah, I was over here.
So we have seen you do on the fly, and it's interesting because we were all, and it's almost like if there was a movie, it'd be a different perspective. We were standing around the circle. Yoa was handling, I think it was a
lab.
black lab,
Yeah.
a black lab of a student, and he was up at the right about at the top of the
Where it goes up towards
where
like.
it goes up to with that little shed thing right there. You had just pulled in, and you'd let all the dogs out, right? And all the dogs jump out, and you had all the littles at the time. And as soon as the dogs jumped out, the lab just lost its shit. Just completely lost its shit. And Yoa's lining up. You can see Yoa's, he's going to give a correction. And right as he's about to say this, you yelled to him in Spanish. He translated it later. You're like, yo. You said, don't correct him. Drop the leash. And Yoa looked at you and laughed and thought you were kidding. Said it again. He was getting ready to do it. It took 3 times. You had to yell at him 3 times because he
He's
totally
dead.
thought you were kidding. Well, it didn't make sense because you were saying you just didn't say don't engage the dog. You said drop the leash. And Yoa's like, the fuck? So he drops the leash and the dog charges over to Alfie, goes and turns around and walks away. And you're like, That was maternal. Just wanted to make sure that Alfie was okay.
Or the littles were okay.
Or that the littles were okay. Oh, you said there must be some puppies.
No, there's some,
There was
the puppies were removed from the dog.
And the dog had several litters of puppy, and the last
That's
one
what the owner
was
said.
taken from it.
Yeah.
How the fuck did you know that?
Because it's
from that distance.
But it's an energy, right? So you know when the dog has this gentle energy, you know when the dog has a maternal energy. It's an energy. And
Even through the reaction.
claro.
That means yes.
Yeah, of course. That's why I spend so much time alone.
Yeah.
You know, so when I'm doing the reading, I feel how they feel.
So you felt that, you didn't see it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where?
The body language, you can't see maternal body language, because what people are seeing when there's a leash on it is an attack. You know what I mean? But she felt maternal, like she needed to go and check on the puppy.
Are you able to articulate what do you mean you felt it? Like, is it
Where
just
did you
that
feel it?
existential, instinctive part of this?
It's very easy. I mean, because if you're seeing puppies and you're seeing a mother raising puppies, their behavior is very maternal. You know, it's versus a female dog protecting the land. So it's a territorial energy, right? And when she's protecting her bull, it's a dominant energy. But when she's maternal and she's worried about the babies, you can see it in TikTok a lot when a dog is in high level of trust and he goes and see the baby because he's worried about the well-being. That's a maternal feeling as well.
Right.
Not just curious, but it has this maternal caring energy. You know what I mean? Not everybody can be a father. You need to have a paternal energy.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like you have to have this energy where it's beyond dominance, territorial protection. As you want the
Paternal,
best,
yeah.
nothing but the best for it.
Yeah, that was a awesome description
Yeah,
right there. That was clear, because we've all for years talked about that one particular moment as this what?
Yeah.
Moment amongst us. And I mean, Yoa being right there thinking you're kidding, and we're all having these different perspectives of what it was, and we've all talked about it ever since. So that was
It was like this energy, because
Yeah.
I think you were here. I was over here, standing over here. Yo was up there. I can't remember where Steve was at. Lisa was here too.
Yep.
But we were all just kind of watching it and just standing. And it's right when you drove up. Not all the students were here yet either.
No,
Just a few of them.
that's
were
why
here.
we would have all probably been out
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah. But for people to get it even more clear. So when a guy hasn't had children and is not responsible and show love and as a man of honor and has learned to be creative and keep that kid alive, that guy is not going to develop what I'm talking about. So there's a lot of people that, hi kid, they don't have this paternal energy. So when you see a kid, you are automatically going to give a paternal energy. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's a soft, caring. It has many layers on top the paternal part of it.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So that energy, not everybody has it, but you have to see it someplace for you to say, that's a maternal energy. She means no harm. Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah, you are very paternal with your daughter, so it's that energy. It's that.
Yeah, you've talked about feeling all the energies that we deal with in your body in different places before. So I didn't know where that one went. That was good.
Yeah, that's a paternal energy. We all have it.
Yeah, for sure. When we spent after Hurricane Maria, we had gone to Puerto Rico. We were with Yo and Steve. We got to drive around that whole island, which was a lot of fun. A good memory that I had. But I remember the story that you shared with us. You were saying how you used to work at a kennel, or you used to live, I think, at a kennel.
Yep.
Some guy.
Gardena.
Where?
Gardena.
And there was something where the owner didn't want you to get all the dogs out, and then at night you would get them all together, and he came back one night. Share that story, because I think it's a really cool story.
So I was a kennel boy, right? So that's a position.
And you lived there?
kennel.
Did you live there?
That was a way of getting paid. So $200, 16 hours a day, and 7 days a week. And in return, I have to, to live there in a room, I have to work all those hours, and I get $200. Well, I got nothing else to do, right? So at nighttime, it didn't make any sense for me to see the dogs in the kennel all this time. So in dog training in that time, the dogs can only go outside twice a day, right? So the trainer will come, work the dog, build the frustration, and work the dog, right? Very common thing.
Was it a kennel based around protection training?
Some was protection, but that's when I heard about basic obedience. Number 2, leash in the floor. Number 3, off leash. Right. So that's when I heard that part. Okay. I guess that's what the training is all about. And at nighttime, everybody left, so I was the only one. So I felt that these dogs needed to come out.
Yeah.
So I started getting dogs out. I don't know if you saw in the picture. I started getting the dogs out because they got this little patio, and I would just let them play. You know, I wouldn't call it play and explore. I just let them out. I just feel bad for them.
Did you know limits at that time? Were you able to do that because you could see when it was getting to the point you needed to stop it?
It was never a fight. No dog ever got lost, but the guy was scared. Yeah. Right? Because how dare you do that? You know, they can run away, they can, hurt each other and stuff like that. But that guy never put dogs together. So he was like a real dog trainer, one dog at a time. Right? And so for me, I come from Mexico, dogs are in packs. I just never seen dogs in kennels. And then you get paid to keep a dog practically 23 hours. You know what I mean? So I didn't understood why would somebody send a dog for that kind of treatment. And so I, out of my heart and out of my instincts, I got the dogs out. And because of that, the Jay Real, my next boss, gave me a job in the limo service because he saw how the dogs were behaving with me. He sent the dogs there. So
right.
2 golden retrievers, Samantha and Buck. And so he saw how Samantha and Buck behave with me versus with the trainer.
Right.
Because I would get them out at the nighttime. Yeah. Right?
Built a relationship
so
with them.
I built trust, respect, love unconsciously.
Right.
And the trainers were sit down, so they were scared of them. So that's that. And because of that, then I went from being a kennel boy to watching limousine. And then that guy helped me establish a business. He taught me about a business. Nice white guy. He taught me about a business. He taught me about being on time because at that time I was on Mexican time.
Oh, that fucking makes sense then.
The way he taught me, he charged me $10 per every minute that I was late.
Oh. No shit.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that.
Yeah. $10 for every minute that I was late. $10. I remember I paid $80 because I was late 8 minutes. And from that point on, I agree with him. I really enjoy that part. And that's when I started hearing, time is money, blah, blah, blah. But I went from kennel boy to car wash, and then he will help me in my not part-time, in lunchtime, he will bring his friends' dogs for me to work with. So he established a price, $300 per dog.
Does he know that he was the start of your basic business?
Does he? We still talk.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
That's super cool.
That's how you met Jada, right? Through that?
Later.
So
Jada was later. That first it was the guy and Gardena, and then it was Jay Real, then Ross, and then Jada came later. Jada came after a guy that was Michael Jackson's double. He was a Michael Jackson double. He just did the whole thing. And this guy started networking and bringing me to places, and then that's how I met Tony Smith. And then Tony, I met Jada.
He also met Tupac at that time.
I was there in that party when I came to deliver the dog for Tony.
No shit, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
So Art was asked a question a little while back about a dog he was working with, and he goes, shit, that was the best time that I ever worked, like his phase in his career. When was the best phase of your career? When you look back and you were the absolute most on point with dogs, is it now? Was there a point somewhere in between where you get the kennel and you got 50 dogs by yourself that you have to deal with? Because your hands aren't on I'm in the same, my hands aren't on dogs that much anymore, because I don't have a house full of dogs.
Right.
I'm not, and so it changes your practice skill set somewhat when you got 30 dogs to care for versus your own
I was in the
pack.
thick of it. I had 30
totally.
dogs at my house.
Right. We've all played that role.
65 dogs.
That's what I'm saying. Do you think you were the best then? Like, you think your skill set was the highest then?
No, right now.
No?
Yeah, right now. No, 65 dogs. It was a way to challenge, my instincts at a high level, my faith at a high level, passion and creativity at a high level. Would I do it again? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
But because I gave myself that much responsibility and I followed through, I think you get to another level because of that, consciously and unconsciously. But right now, I'm at the highest level I've ever been.
Well, that was the advantage I had versus these guys with Lynn, is I was in a very large pack.
Yeah.
You know, we were 30, 40 deep, you know, hiking dogs every morning. That was the advantage to see it in that context. Because, I mean, who gets that? You know, it doesn't let you
but you have
talk.
no life.
Oh, no.
That's all it is.
He didn't. He had 0. I mean,
65 dogs, that's all you do. You know, Andre and Calvin were little at that time, so I have to bring them with me. So I was a dog whisperer more than I was a father.
how long does it take to do a feeding event for 65 dogs?
2 hours. 2 hours, you know, and I like to cook and I like to do all of that. It's a ritual for me. Everything I do is a ritual. So 65 dogs, it takes 2 hours. Yeah. And that was like from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m.
And I can only imagine, and people watching wouldn't understand it, calmness for 2 hours, I would imagine too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was my noble silence time. That was my calm time. I really enjoy feeding dogs.
I've been cooking food, and I've noticed that too. It's the same. I cook, it takes about an hour. They're just all, it's just the time everybody's at the highest level of peace, you know, and you can feel it.
Yeah.
And you put in the love in the food. I hate even feeding kibble after feeding homemade food.
Yeah.
It just feels like
Yeah.
it's not the same.
I give very little kibble, very little.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like love, you know.
I want to go back real quick to the we talked about, like, do you do a ritual with when someone passes? Because we were here when Joe passed.
With who?
When Joe passed.
Joe, the black one?
Yeah, Cujo.
Cujo, yeah.
Yeah. So we were here. I remember, like,
what a great dog. That was a great dog.
And there's a picture of you that I have that you have your forehead on Joe's head. And so we didn't know that, because it was during fundamentals, and we kind of got word that Joe was going to be put down. He's old because you could barely walk. And so we cleared out the whole ranch for you. And so, like, what goes on, like, specifically with Joe, because we were here for that, what goes on in those moments? Because that picture speaks a lot of, you know, it speaks volumes but I don't know what's going on. Like, what are you saying? What are you feeling at those moments?
But gratitude, honor, right? The only thing that goes is the body. And so I don't want him to feel sad. I don't want him to feel, you know, worry. So I don't give that energy. It's just honor. It's a lot of respect. It's a lot of love. And that's pretty much it. Yeah. You know, that's pretty much, that's all you can do.
Yeah.
Everything else is extra, right? But if you bring the spirit part of it, the honor, then how do you do it? Well, you bring honor. You feel honor to be grateful to be with, you know. So those are the two ways for me to honor or talk to the spirit: gratitude or honor. And then how do you talk to instinct? Well, I respect, and then my touch, you know, is to create relaxation, right? So that's what the animal is going to feel. And the heart is going to feel the love, and the mind, just don't worry about it. Let him go through what is. Don't add more into it. You know, so you give a space, you create a space, and you allow him to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a ritual that we do. You know, we don't let the dogs be part of it. It's just like me, because unless it's like my wife was really close to some of the dogs, but my last dog, Frankie, who was like my everything, it was just me and him. The dogs were put away, and just me and him. And the same thing, like, I didn't cry, not until I felt his body just finally, like, the soul. You feel the soul release, and then I started to cry.
Yeah.
But because I don't want him to go with that. I want his last memory with me and him to be of gratitude and all these things.
Happy, you know. So it's about happiness. It's about health. It's about heart. And the hope is no longer existent, you know, because you have to let them go. Yeah. Otherwise, they hold on to. Yeah. You know, and they hold on to, and they stay there because they don't want to see you suffering. Yeah. You know, and if you don't let them go, they stick around until they pass to the next. Yeah, you can hold spirit, or you can hold the mind of a dog and just let them suffer, and that's not nice either. Yeah.
Speaking of Joe, we went to the dog park, the one with Buddha.
This will be the last question. I don't think that he won't remember this, but it'd be interesting if you did. So my very first workshop, we have, it's a big group. It's only Colleen and I as anybody leading the team around. So Colleen and I are in the dog park for the dog park demo. And you get to the end of it, we get all the dogs out, you bring your pack in, and we have a husky in the group. That's just a
confident husky,
dude. Yeah, this guy was just starting shit with everybody. And you're like, just bring him in. We all kind of look at each other like, does he know this is going to go down? And he comes in, and it takes 10 seconds.
Because Joe was laying down, from what I
Yeah.
remember. This husky comes right over Joe and just stands. And Joe, I don't know, can't remember exactly what happened after that, but this fight happened, right? And then Buddha goes like
Yep.
towards Joe. I remember Todd like grabs Buddha and stuff like that.
I grab Buddha. I have Buddha somewhere like midsection. You grab Buddha by the neck. And that was the first time I went, holy Christ, dude, the strength of the way your hand grabbed him and snatched him up. But we walked out of him there like, did he do that on purpose, man? Was he testing us? Was he testing me? Was that my first trip in? And you were talking about, how we broke it up was important to you. Nobody was yelling. Nobody was
Yeah,
screaming.
right. How we ended it was, that was probably the most beautiful part because how we got everyone to be really calm, not ended on that note. But Todd goes, like later on, he's like, I think Cesar did that on purpose.
Yeah,
Like,
that guy did that on purpose.
But sometimes, most of the time it's a purpose, but it's conscious purpose, right?
That's
But if we make a mistake, we can fix it.
Oh yeah.
But that's the whole point. We have to be as safe as possible and peaceful and everything and happy-go-lucky. But every once in a while, I think it happens for a reason.
They need to see it.
They needed to see it. That group of people needed to see it. Otherwise, it would not present that way. But yeah, we were very careful about it.
yeah. It wasn't like bad or anything, but
No,
it's just like this,
no.
the timing of everything,
Yeah.
Buddha and Joe.
That was a pack, dude. Yeah, that was a serious
Buddha
pack.
had a problem with his brain.
Yeah. Oh, but yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he was neurological something.
Well, dude, we appreciate your time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, to be
that was very
continued. I hope you learned something
Yes.
in this dog psychology podcast. Now, I hope you're clear. more than beautiful structure, clear. Let's focus on the 3, and that's it.
Awesome. Appreciate
Thank you
it.
so much.
Thank you.
Yes. Welcome to your audience to the DPC.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody.